Hi there. Are you interested in finding out how much NetSuite costs per year? Stick with us and we'll go through exactly this topic. So we'll start with discussing what NetSuite is. We'll talk about ways to determine the cost of NetSuite easily and rapidly. We'll discuss the cost of not using NetSuite within a group of company or within a business. Then we'll compare the costs of using NetSuite to not using NetSuite. And we'll end with the next steps. So to begin with, NetSuite is a cloud solution which covers different functionalities of the company. So it tallies for all the sales department needs, including the after sales and marketing. It can also tally for the ERP side, so the accounting, which means payables, receivables, budgeting, consolidation. You also have revenue recognition, amortization, fixed assets, purchasing, and of course inventory and pricing. Even VAT, of course, and all the local reports that you might require for your fiscal year end per country. And there's also a break which is tied to the business intelligence, where NetSuite allows you to access the industry standard reports that are already built. There's about 60 of them, and use these reports as either the reports that you need to get your information out, or use them as a basis to add new elements based on your requirements very easily. There's also a section for e-commerce, so you could actually use NetSuite's e-commerce functionality to be able to sell online, accept payments, have all the payments already impacting your accounting and also your debtors account, and also have the sales orders that are brought in affect your inventory dashboards to let people know what will need to be delivered and when and to whom. So all of this is part of NetSuite, and of course NetSuite has various different roles and permissions that are already preset, so you don't even have to think about it. You just assign roles to employees based on their actual roles. Each role can be modified, customized to the company's liking, but based on the industry specific needs, NetSuite has already figured it all out. Now, because NetSuite is a cloud system, you can also give your customers, partners, and vendors access to the platform so that they can track their activities easily and without having to even call you. Right, so let's talk about the ways to determine the cost of NetSuite itself. So usually to get a price out of NetSuite, which is very specific to your business, there are 4 questions we asked. The industry that you operate in, the number of employees and users that you will have, the functionality you need, and any add-ons or connectors that you might need. If you can answer these 4 questions, then of course we'll be able to give you an estimate within 15 to 20 minutes. It's very fast. If you need assistance in determining what kind of add-ons you might be needing, because maybe you don't want to spend hours researching all these elements on NetSuite's website or Cloud@Work's website, then of course just give us a call and we can discuss your needs through a Teams meeting or a screen share or even a phone call. Right, let's talk about what you'll be spending if you're not using NetSuite, if you're on the traditional business model. So in that case, you would have a very specific system to meet the needs of a specific department. For example, CRM would be a system for the sales department and the after sales. You'd have an accounting ERP system for the finance team. You'd have an inventory system for your warehouse, and you'd have a web system for your website. And of course, for information to flow across all these, you'd have to pay for integrations. But integrations, as we know it, is never a one-to-one, it's a one-to-many. And the more integration points there are, the more security risks there are, the more problems and risks of failure of integration there are, because once one system is upgraded, and of course the integration might very well fail. Sometimes planning integrations will prevent this, but it does require resources for this, so an IT team, and it requires also time and money. So basically, we want to get rid of all of this. We want to get rid of having to maintain hardware, maintain databases, maintain operating system and security systems for your databases and ERP and CRM and business intelligence, and replace all of this with NetSuite, where you would be paying NetSuite a subscription fee across 12 months, but you would not have to worry anymore about upgrades, about integrations, or about the security of your system, because all of it will be encompassed and included in NetSuite. Now, let's have a cost comparison between using NetSuite and not using NetSuite. If you're not using NetSuite, you'll need an IT team just to be able to manage the different aspects of the databases of your different systems, the integration, the security, the upgrades, etc. And you would also need consultants who are experts at their software. So for example, here we went on a very low ball estimate, which adds up to $550,000 per year. If you want to guarantee that in most cases your system will be secured, the upgrades will go well, and the integrations won't break. Now let's go to the second step. It's the infrastructure related costs per year. So if you're not using NetSuite, you might have sometimes an on-premise system and or for another department a cloud system. So you'd still need a server, you need a database. When we talk about servers, we also mean server rooms, security accesses, temperature control. We excluded electricity and insurance from this calculation because these can vary based on the country that you're in. But in general, we get up to $97,000 per year. So when we add this all up, if you're not using NetSuite, we get to a total of $750,000 a year. That's a very low ball figure. I know that some companies are paying even more than that just for the upgrades of their systems. Whereas on NetSuite, you still need to be budgeting for employees that are experts on NetSuite. You could also outsource this to partners because employees, they come and they go, but partners, they'll keep your knowledge, they will stick to your processes, and you won't have to train people every time an employee leaves. So there are benefits to using NetSuite partners instead of employing people in-house, but of course, this is all up to you. We still see here that there are infrastructure costs, meaning that if you're in a company with more than one laptop or a computer tied to the internet, you need at least a network server. And once you've got that, then of course you're good to go. We did not include integration costs on NetSuite because NetSuite, we assume that you'd be getting NetSuite for the benefit of not having to integrate to any system. But if you need to integrate, partners do offer add-ons for connectors. They do also. NetSuite proposes APIs that comes with NetSuite, and you can either have your NetSuite employee or your NetSuite partner build the integration with whatever other system you need. And of course, everything else is included. For example, the upgrades are managed by NetSuite, so you won't have to pay anything extra for it. It's automatic and it's free. And it doesn't impact whatever you did in the past. And if there is a major change, for example, in the kind of API calls that you're using, NetSuite will let you 6 months in advance of the changes that you need to perform on the API call script, so that you can either ask your partner to do it or they'll come and do it for you. It's a matter of 15 minutes. It's very easy. Sometimes it could take an hour, at most a day, but you won't be managing this. Someone else will be doing it for you. Security is managed, so your database security is fully is guaranteed by NetSuite. The uptimes that we see from NetSuite are close to 100%, because obviously you'll have a downtime between midnight and 2 a.m. once every quarter for upgrades. But usually at this time, at your server time, there's not many employees left at the office, and obviously this is something that is required for your cloud system to be updated. Right, so what we see here is we get to a savings of over $600,000 by the fact of using NetSuite. So if you're interested in that much saving, and not just in terms of money, but in terms of peace of mind too, why not just give us a call? We can discuss this. There's no obligations tied to it. It's a friendly discussion on your needs, as expressed on the first couple of slides of this presentation. And if the price of NetSuite makes sense to you, then of course we'll be glad to help you acquire it, implement it, and of course develop and maintain it. For further details, please visit our website at cloudatwork.net, and we thank you for your time on this video. Goodbye.